times and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built.
So this is the fabric I'll be working with. This is a crepe, a black crepe, for those of you that always ask the fabric I use. So yeah, I went ahead to fold this fabric into two. So always fold your fabric into two before you place your pattern to cut. And this pattern I made on this channel. I have a previous video on how to make this pattern. Very easy and simple to achieve, straight to the point. So be sure to check that out before you watch this video, because this video is the cutting and stitching of the pattern. Yeah, so you guys, I'll go ahead and place this, and then I will pin this down with my pin so it doesn't move while I am cutting.
For myself right in my mind, and then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground so we can fly again.
I will also go ahead and notch the dart points on the fabrics.
So we can fly again.
Cutting out the back piece, when I was drafting out this pattern, I did not take my dart point on the back pattern. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll just go ahead and indicate the dart points from the front pattern to the back pattern, and then I'll place the pattern on the fabric to cut. But before then, I'll take my zip allowance. So I'll go down by 8 inches. That is where the zip is going to sit. That's the point. And then for the allowance, I'm taking 1.5 inch for the zip allowance. The zip allowance is the only measurement I added on the back piece. So now I'll go ahead and cut this out.
To go out of my mind.
So I have two fabrics here cut out already for the two side pockets, and the length for these fabrics are 12 inches. So you can go ahead and make yours 13 inches or 14 inches, but I'll be using 12 inches. That is how long I want it. And then for the width, it is 8 inches wide. You can make yours 6.5 or 7.5 or 7 inches, but I'm using 8 inches because of the sewing allowance. Yeah, so now I'll go in by 1.5 inch. I'll flip it open and go in by 1.5 inch. Yeah, and then I'll go down by 6.5 inches. Then I'll connect both points together with my free hand. You can use a pattern master, you can use your ruler, but I will be using my free hand. I'll connect both points together and cut out the parts I don't need.
Keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I
will just place this on the second fabric for the other pockets, because I want to take out the same amount of fabric on the both pockets. I want them to look the same, but you can go ahead and repeat what we just did. You take your 1.5 and then you go down by 6.5, but to save time and then to have your pocket looking the same, you can just go ahead and place this like this and trace it out.
just you and I.
Attaching the pocket now to the front piece, I always do this on the right side of the fabric. So what I do is I place the pockets on the right side of the front piece, just as seen, that's from the waist to the hip side, and then I'll just cut out that 1.5 inch I just created on the pockets, and then I'll take this to my machine and sew by 1/4 inch.
Turn it all around, and you can lift me off the ground.
After sewing, you can go ahead and top stitch your pocket if you want to see that stitch on the pocket side, but I don't like to see the stitch. What I do is I hem this with my hemming gum. So yeah, because I want it to be seamless, I don't like to see the stitch, the pocket stitch. I like it to be seamless, so I'll just use my hemming gum and hem this down.
So we can fly again, so we can fly again.
Now to put the pocket in place, to keep it in place, I'll sew on top and then I'll take in my darts. So yeah, and I'll go ahead and repeat the same step on the other leg of the front piece, because this is just one leg of the front piece. So I'll do the same thing on the other leg. And on the pocket too, I went ahead to sew this in at this point. Yeah, this side, I sewed it in from the inside. So yeah. Joining the back piece to the front piece, don't forget to take in your darts on the back piece. You indicated that, so go ahead and take in that dart. Now I'll place one leg of the back piece and one leg of the front piece. I'll place them together, and then on the hip side I'll be taking in 1 inch, and on the crotch side I'll be sewing by 1/2 inch.
Sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between.
After sewing, I left out the zip allowance open because I'll be sewing in my band from there. So, and this is how I got the length for my band. It is my round waist plus 4 extra inches for allowance, and then for the width, this is 5 inches wide, but then I folded it in by 1/2 inch on the top and on the bottom. I'll be sewing in that half inch, and then once you take 1/2 inch on the bottom and the top, you have 4 inches left, and then when you fold this into 2, you have 2 inches worth of band. So now this is how I attach my band. I'll be sewing this from the wrong side. I'll sew this by the 1/2 inch I left on the wrong side, then I'll flip it to the right side and sew in the other 1/2 inch. Now that I'm done with the band, the next thing for me to do is to attach the zip. And after attaching the zip, you guys, because I want this to have a clean finish, I don't like to see seam allowance on the base of my pants or my trouser. What I do is, after weaving, I go ahead and use the hemming gum to hem this in by 1 inch. That's on the base of the pants. But you can go ahead and sew this if you want to see the stitch on the base of your trouser, but I don't like to see that. So that is why I'll be hemming this with my hemming gum.
Lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and